You're listening to Off the Vine with Kaitlyn Bristowe.
Hey, Vinos, real quick, if you are listening right now, which obviously you are or you wouldn't be hearing this, can you hit the subscribe or follow button on whatever platform you're on? Please. That one simple thing helps more than you even realize. It allows me to keep growing on this podcast and making these episodes the best they can possibly be, obviously for you. That's the only favor I'm going to ever ask, okay? It truly means the world to me. Thank you. Now let's get into it.
Trigger warning. This podcast discusses suicide. Listeners who find this content distressing may wish to proceed with caution or avoid it altogether. Resources for support are available.
Hey everybody, welcome to Off the Vine. I'm your host, Kaitlyn Bristowe, and today we have someone really, really special on the podcast. I was just like in awe of his story when I did my research about him. I thought I had to get him on the podcast, and he was so vulnerable and open about all of the things he's gone through in his life. His name is Chase McDaniel. He's an incredible singer, songwriter who has really been turning his trauma into purpose. His debut album, Lost Ones, dropped this past September during National Suicide Prevention Month, which he has firsthand experience with, and he's really making waves. His music is really turning his past into his purpose, and it is really beautiful. His single Burn Down Heaven is heating up at country radio, and his journey is as raw and inspiring as he is. So please welcome Chase McDaniel. So I was just thinking about when I performed on stage the other night for the first time.
Wait, like singing?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay.
Okay, I shouldn't say my first time. I did perform at Whiskey Row one night.
Yeah, that's where a lot of people get their start here.
Yes, and it was my friend Brett Kissel was performing, and he asked me to sing because I wrote a song once, and he asked me to sing with him up there, and I was like, yeah, right. I'm like, I'm never singing live. Like, I know my what I bring to the table. I know my strengths, and it's like it takes me a full hour and a half to like start feeling comfortable singing on a mic, and then like because I recorded the song and it was like an hour and a half in, the producer was like, okay, now we're recording. Now you're warmed up. And I was like, yeah, I sucked when I walked in here because I get so nervous and I'm in my head and I don't sing every day. And like, I grew up doing theater. So it's like, I can sing, but it's not like my thing.
It's like that Step Brothers scene when he's like, this room is not
I had a sore throat for 3 months.
Yeah. Not an acoustic room for me.
Yeah. That is me. I'll make every excuse. So my girlfriend ran this whole festival called Lady World.
Yeah.
And they had like live podcasts and 90s music, like Sugar Ray was performing and like O-Town, all these 90s bands. How old are you?
30.
Okay.
No, I'm 31. Oh my God.
That happens, by the way.
I think after that one, I was just like, I can't remember birthdays anymore.
I'll remember mine now because I just turned 40, but all my 30s, I was like, what am I? 39. I was like, I know I'm 39 because I'm almost 40. But yeah, it was so crazy. So then they were like, I really believe in you. You can do a live podcast and then you can sing 2 songs. And I was like, okay. And then they're like, and People Magazine's going to be there to interview about it. And Us Weekly's going to be there to film it. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to go viral for sucking. And I had to like mentally prepare for that, but I actually did pretty good. I did better than I thought I was going to do, and it was really fun.
You have to have good friends that record you without you knowing. You know what I mean? On those instances. Because you want to know like how it went. Well, and you can't trust people because they'll just be like, yeah, it was great. And you're like, was it?
That's what I did. I had my friend record me in the sound check, and I'm so glad because I heard it back and I was like, oh, I need to do this here. And that was so helpful to hear it. But I'm glad I didn't know she was recording. Right. Because then I would have gotten in my head. Do you get in your head when you perform?
100%.
You do?
Well, it depends. It's like something like that. Like, you know, it's like a high pressure situation.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've had like performance anxiety aside from just like general anxiety, but like ever since I was a kid. Yeah. Like,
isn't that interesting? The career path you're on. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the first time that I sang in church, I was like 11 and people could visibly see my knees like hitting each other. Yeah. And, and my heart would just race. My hands would get sweaty. It would be just like I'd be out of breath up there.
It's hard to sing when you're nervous too. Because
you're like it makes you very audibly worse. You know?
It does. That was was my fear because I was like, when I'm nervous, I sound like shit.
Yeah, it happens.
But so you started off in church singing. Is that like okay? So let's rewind. I feel like you have one heck of a story, and I feel like people will love getting to know you better on this podcast as well. So you grew up in Kentucky.
Yeah,
we're going way back. Raised by your grandparents. What was it like? Because I feel like you know how certain generations are so specific about how they parent? Like our generation is like doing the soft parent or the like whatever I don't even know what they're calling it, but like just different generations believe in a different way of parenting. And so you skipped a generation of parents. So your grandparents raised you. What was that like? What was that generation like of them parenting?
Well, it was a mix, you know, because I was with my, you know, my mom and then my dad for a while when I was, you know, real young. And, you know, when they took me in, it was just, it was, you know, very different, but also they were my grandparents. So like, I think that they approached it from a way of like, yeah, we're raising him, but also we are still his grandparents.
Okay.
Like some of it, they tried to be softer, just knowing the situation. But yeah, there was like, I woke up, I think it was my 16th birthday, and my papaw like drug me out of bed, threw a uniform at me. And he's like, "You're late for your job." I was like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "I got you a job at Burger King. You're late." And this was my birth. Like I had just turned 16. Like couldn't even, you know, I was like, I just got my permit or whatever. And he's like, "I'll ride with you. We're going to go." And so it was, you know, like work ethic, all of that was instilled in me like very young. Like there was, you know, there were rules, and I could tell that I've always kind of felt like part of me is 70 years old, if that makes any sense. Like I'm good around old folks because that was just so much of my life.
Do you think you have an old soul, or do you think you do? Yeah. Because I don't think I have an old soul, but I like old people and babies because they can't hurt me, and dogs. So I'm like, I thrive around old people and babies and dogs. But I'm not an old soul. But you think you're an old soul. I feel like musicians a lot of times are.
Yeah. I think there's a part of me that like feels like I like, you know, like morphed into this time or something, I guess. Yeah.
I have friends like that who think they belonged in like the 20s and stuff. And I'm like, but you're a woman. You would have, why would you want to exist?
Not a great
20s?
Time. Yeah.
But that's so funny. So, okay. So you were raised by your grandparents. That makes a lot of sense actually about like, they still took the role as like grandparents because they didn't want to try and be your parents. Yeah. What is your first memory of music?
Oh, that's good. So my papaw was a bass singer.
Papaw?
Yeah. So
Wait,
I think that's
so
a Kentucky,
cute.
maybe Tennessee thing, but yeah, it's Mama and Papaw.
Oh, I called my grandpa Pop.
Do you?
Yeah.
We're from Canada, right? Is that a normal thing up there?
I don't know.
Yeah. It's just, okay. Yeah.
I did Pop. I don't know.
I guess, and we got several. I know people that call him Nana. But yeah, so he was a bass singer in a gospel quartet.
Oh, cool.
And so I was like, I remember being like 4 years old and riding in the back of a 15-passenger van, you know, going to these churches with my mama and papa.
Oh, that's cool.
And he would sing the low notes. And so I fell in love with that like low Josh Turner type sound.
Oh, fascinating. I love that. My grandpa was a musician too, and I never got to experience it because he died before I was born. But my dad talks about it all the time about it and shows me like he was just like honored in Canada somewhere still for like the work he did as a musician.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah.
It's really cool. I just love the history of like, I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, my trauma from this, but I'm starting to learn like generational trauma. And I'm like, that is such a real thing, but it also comes with a lot of beautiful things like being able to sing and perform and do music.
People say that you can pass down memories that you don't even, you know what I mean? Like I've heard, I don't know. I'm not,
I believe
not
it.
a scientist, but
I believe
apparently it can like go through your DNA or something. It's crazy.
I believe that. I feel like the more we learn, the more I'm just like, wow.
Yeah.
So at that age, like if you're young, you're seeing your grandpa and you're like falling in love with certain things. When were you like, I'm going to chase this as a dream? Like, this is what I'm going to do.
Still very young. I think that I had to still kind of rebel in it a little bit. They were very against it being a job, being a career. You know what I mean? I think they would have been much happier. Like, so here's something actually really interesting is that my grandpa got his PhD when he was 70 years old.
70?
When he was 70, yeah. So I watched him like as he was going through the whole process and everything. And of course, you know, we grew up very poor. And so like my papa was like, we don't have money for the gown and whatever. My mama was like, no. And like she insisted. And so like there's a picture of my papa in his gown and the regalia, whatever you call it. And and so like I got to watch him chase his dream, you know, and he grew up, you know, with two parents that didn't have a third grade education. I think there was that pressure for me to, you know, go to school and you know, get my PhD or my master's or whatever. And truthfully, that just never was my dream. I had always loved music. Music was kind of how I connected with people and with him and with myself. And it was always an escape for me. And so I pressed for the music thing. They didn't like it. I think they'd rather me poured concrete, but you know, came down here and they taught me to chase my dream. And they just this wouldn't have been their first choice for me, I think.
Right. You said you had anxiety at 11 years old. Did you know it was anxiety? Because I too had.
No. Yeah, no.
I had severe anxiety.
Yeah.
I remember in the 3rd grade, every day I would convince myself that I was sick.
Yeah.
And I'd go to school and I would tell the teachers I was sick, and I would just like get in my head, and then I'd make myself sick. And then I'd see other kids, if we had to get like shots, like I remember we had to get hepatitis A or something, shots or B. And I was like, oh God, I'm going to faint. And I started seeing stars, and I would convince myself all these things. Like I had the worst anxiety. And you had that too as a kid.
Mine was, I think at the time it was more OCD, which wasn't like, I think people think that it's like cleaning your room and stuff like that.
Right.
It wasn't that. It was like count to 1,000,000 or you go home and your mom's dead kind of thing.
Whoa.
And, or like making sure that like everything is a certain way, or like, you know, certain superstitions. And then it takes on certain themes that are just, it's really disturbing.
Yeah, I had the same thing. Yeah. I literally would, if I didn't have the same amount of layers on top than I did on the bottom, I would start freaking out. Yeah. My mom would send me to school, and like if we had to put on snow pants in Canada, I like couldn't fathom having more layers on the bottom than top. Like I totally understand that. Yeah, that's, my mom was like, looking back, I think it was OCD. I'm like, yeah, but I think it was also anxiety.
Yeah, I think the lines get blurred like so much. Like I just know that it sucked. Like
yeah, I just know it sucked. Yeah,
wasn't
same.
fun.
Yeah, no, I feel that. And then so you're starting out, you're chasing your dream. The pandemic hits right as you're starting out. Yeah. You're jobless. Down to your last $12, was it? $12?
Yeah, like 11 something.
11, even worse. Yeah. Can you walk us through the moment of how you kept going? Because I think a lot of people, I've talked about it a lot on this podcast, a lot of people either do give up, which I did actually at one point in my life with my dance career, I gave up, but I always knew there was something more for me. But a lot of people, if they push through that point of almost giving up, they always have this beautiful story of the outcome. Yeah. So what was yours?
Well, I mean, that story particularly, it was the middle of the pandemic. You know, I've always worked 2 or 3 jobs. I grew up poor, came to town poor, didn't have really any connections in the industry.
Did you have financial anxiety, or were you like, this is just how
it's always been. Okay. Yeah, I didn't really think of it like that.
Yeah.
And I think something about money and having some kind of security, like I think everyone has this like fantasy or imagination of what it might be like, all their problems are going to go away. To me, all it does is remove the stress of not having the money you need. Like that's all that money has ever been or done for me, is it's just there's either stress or there's not. But I didn't really think of it as anxiety. But yeah, I mean, we were having a party at my house one night. I'd already put in 50 job applications, nobody hit back, and it was a pandemic. I mean, you couldn't get a serving job at the time. And
this was here in Nashville.
This was here in Nashville, yeah. And I'd been in town 5-6 years at that point. Okay. Yeah, I had a couple buddies that were in from out of town. One was in from Kansas City. And my GMC out in the driveway, like, had a check engine light on. I mean, it was, it was dark times. And I was ready to, call it quits and move back home. I couldn't pay rent that month, couldn't afford groceries. And a buddy of mine found me out in my car on the phone with my mamaw, like asking her if she had a bed for me to come back home to. Oh. And I'd been, around a bonfire playing some songs that night or whatever. And this was the friend from Kansas City. And he lent me some money to stay a couple more weeks. And I fought him on it. Of course, I'm not the kind of guy that likes to accept help or anything. But I got a job probably a week and a half later.
Really?
Yeah, it was crazy.
What was the job at the time?
Waiting tables.
Oh, it was, yeah.
Yeah, it was waiting tables.
I feel like that's like the move. Like when you moved to Nashville to try and be a musician, when you moved to LA to try and be an actor, you moved to New York to try and be a model. That's because it has the flexible schedule.
And honestly, that was my second time trying that, because I didn't realize that. I came to town and I did all the like blue collar type stuff first.
Right.
It took me years to realize, oh wait, you can have a flexible schedule with the restaurant industry, and that was the best thing that could happen to me. Yeah.
What was your favorite and least favorite part of serving tables?
Well, my favorite part was bugging my manager to let me become a bartender. That eventually did work out, like 3 or 4 months in. It was kind of controlling your income, I think. Like the ability to, like, if you work hard enough, you will make more money. That's just that direct line. And least favorite, just shitty people.
Oh, God. I know.
You learn that,
That's how I was in that industry for 11 years, and I was such a bitch on year 11. I hope everybody feels this way, where fall is just like the best time to slow down. I want everybody, including myself, to slow down. Swapping busy summer days for cozy weekends, curling up with my favorite shows, really indulging in the little comforts at home. And I didn't think it could get any better until I discovered Boll & Branch. Their bed bundles are just absolutely next level. One effortless upgrade and your whole bedroom feels just like a sanctuary. The sheets, oh my gosh, the softest, 100% organic cotton you can imagine, and the blankets, The waffle texture is heaven. You feel the quality just instantly, and it keeps getting softer over time. Every night feels like it's the coziest, most luxurious sleep ever. I'm obsessed with getting into my bed. Bull and Branch makes it so easy too. Bundles for every type of sleeper, whether you want a total bedroom refresh or just a little upgrade. And the best part is their 30-night worry-free guarantee, so you can take it and try it risk-free. Bull and Branch makes upgrading your bed easier than ever with curated bundles for a sanctuary of comfort. For a limited time, you can get 20% off bed bundles plus free shipping and returns at bullandbranch.com/vine15. That's Bull and Branch, BOLLAND branch.com/vine15 to save up to 20% and unlock free shipping. Exclusions apply. Okay, fall is officially here, which means it is cozy season, baby. Yes. The slippers are out. The candles are lit. I am basically living in my Bombas, everything. And if you don't know Bombas yet, let me introduce you to the most comfortable socks, slippers, tees, and underwear ever. I swear once you put them on, it is game over. I swear. The material is just unreal, like the merino wool that somehow keeps you warm when it's chilly, but then also cool when it's not. Make it make sense. I don't know. Bombas does it. And they're cotton, softer, stronger, way more breathable than any of my other stuff. And then the slippers. I've got the Sherpa lined ones, and I swear they make me not want to leave the house, or maybe just wear them outside the house. I don't care. Honestly, I'm fine with staying in the house too. But the best part about Bombas is their mission. So for every item that you buy, they donate one to someone experiencing homelessness, like over 150 million items so far. So if you're ready to be cozy and do some good, head on over to bombas.com/vine and use code VINE for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com/vine, code VINE at checkout. You worked 2 jobs, didn't you? Or double shifts? Is that what it was?
Yeah, it was. So the doubles there were like 17-hour shifts. You know, it was like going in at 9, you leave at 3 kind of thing. And in the morning. And so honestly, it was what saved me and why I was able to stay in town during the pandemic.
Yeah. But then you're only sleeping like 4 hours a night and writing music at the same time. Like, because
substances, not great. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Because my body was just destroyed by the end of that, you know?
Oh, for sure.
And, you know, so I was going to the studio to write and not sleeping and all that stuff. You got to find ways to be entertaining to all the bachelorette parties coming into town.
Yeah.
So it helps to a certain extent until it takes over your life, you know?
Well, I was going to say, did you suffer burnout? Did you have a moment where you're like, I can't do this either?
Oh, like the restaurant industry, like the hospitality? Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Oh, those last 6 months, I was probably hell to be at work with. Yeah, because I was doing both at that point too. Like I was, you know, working the double shifts and then also playing gigs on the weekend, trying to figure that out. So yeah, I mean, it was just crazy busy.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I can't even. It's just like that toll it takes like on you mentally to be working a double, then working in between to try and make it as a musician. Yeah. Lack of sleep is like, to me, the like worst form of torture. I'm like, that's just a lot.
But it was that desperation, I think, that honestly made it happen.
Really?
Me. Like, yeah, it was, I'm the old Travis Tritt song, I'm going to be somebody someday. You know, and it's just like that. That's whatever it was in me, that blind belief, because I had no reason to believe in it, but it was just there.
Delusional confidence.
It was
always
delusional, completely.
But it works.
Yeah, I can't explain that.
Yeah.
And at the same time, like self-hatred.
Yeah. Yes.
Like, delusional confidence and like I suck. You know what I mean?
How did you work through that? Like, did you?
I don't know. Still working through it, I think.
Yeah, me too, actually. Samesies. I feel like your life has obviously not been easy. You are open about, like, obviously feeling depression, anxiety, and even a suicide attempt at age 20. First of all, like, thank you for being open about that, because when I was telling somebody downstairs before you got here, I was like, I love how people come together from your story, and like you have built such a solid community because of being so vulnerable. So thank you for doing that.
Thanks for saying that.
And I just was thinking about like what I would ask you about that. And I was like, maybe if somebody's struggling out there that's listening or watching, when you were feeling that way, what is something that you wished people had asked or understood about what you're going through?
I think first it was impossible for anyone to know.
Yeah.
Like I think like growing up, you know, as a man in the South, I mean, you could pretend to be, or literally made of steel. And I think when some things happen, your body will shut down for you. You know, I refused to feel things. I was decidedly numb and like, for all of my life. You know, I ran from everything that ever happened to me. And I think that like literally just cortisol, like so the stress will shut your heart muscle down, will shut your brain down.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't just the things that I lost, it was I lost my mind too.
Yeah.
I lost myself too, you know. And so.
And how old were you? 20?
Yeah, I probably 20 or 21 when I was on the bridge. I can't remember exactly that. Probably it was definitely one of those years.
Do you mean like physically on a bridge?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Guy pulled me back over a concrete ledge. Yeah.
I'm going to cry.
Yeah. I had been fighting my mind for years. Like I mean I was suicidal for years. Like I was depressed. I was dealing with things that I didn't even know were diagnosable at the time. I just, you know, growing up where I grew up, there was no such thing as resources for mental health. There wasn't something like, I was like, if this is what depression, if this is what anxiety is, if this is what any of that, I was like, holy shit. Like it was unspeakable darkness, but my mind wasn't a safe place. I was definitely, you know, a threat to myself. I was in and out of the hospital. And yeah, I think at some point, like I was just like, you know, decided to take the leap, you know, I was ready to do it. And it's hard to know like what I would say, because I think everybody's situation is different. Usually if you're in that spot, like I didn't want to die.
Yeah.
Like I truthfully I was afraid to die. I was so miserable. I didn't want to feel like that anymore. And so I thought it was the only way to escape the feeling. It was the only way to escape the circumstances. And so I think a lot of people that I've talked to, you know, that have also been in the same boat, that's how it is. It's like, you don't necessarily want to die. It's just, I don't want to feel like this anymore. And this might be the only way that seems like a solution. When I was pulled back over, it was like the first time being seen, you know.
Wow.
Because
was it somebody physically that pulled you back over?
Somebody physically pulled me back over. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was.
And they didn't know you, obviously.
No, they did. Yeah.
Oh, they did know you.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a friend of mine.
Okay. Wow.
And we're still friends, by the way. I was just in Charlotte a couple months ago, and he probably knew something was wrong. I don't know how, to what extent. Like, you know, I don't think at that point I had told anybody, but we're talking 2 or 3 in the morning. You know, I'm downtown the city of Louisville. I'd climbed this fire escape, and I'm looking out over the city, just trying to think of beautiful things, trying to be like, no, there's one reason to hold on. And I'm literally on top of this building, like looking out over the city. I'm like, there's nothing. Wow. I can't find a damn thing. And climbed down. I found a bridge and solid concrete underneath it. And I was sitting there, not sitting there, I was standing over the ledge. And I was just like, you know, let's see, can I get my toes over? Can I get half my foot over? Yeah. Can I get, you know, how close? And I got to the point where I'm like having a conversation with God, like where at this point, I don't even have to take a step. Like just the wind could blow me, you know? And literally like saying, God, I don't even believe in you anymore. Like I don't believe in anything. But I think if you are there, I'm about to meet you. And I'm sorry for that, but I just don't see any other way.
God.
And so if you are real, please forgive me for this, you know? And looking back, it feels like eternity. It could have been milliseconds. It could have been 5 minutes, but no words were said. I just feel these 2 arms come up from underneath me.
Oh my God.
And all of a sudden I'm horizontal over this, you know, probably 3.5 foot ledge. Pull back over, gives me a hug, totally silent until, you know, I'm like, I think I'm just kind of out of it. Like I don't really realize what's happened yet. I remember in the moment, like, cause I'm totally in another world. I was like, is this an angel?
Yeah, you know? It is.
Yeah. Well,
but I get what you're saying.
Yeah. And look up, it's this tall guy, it's my friend, you know, he's.
How did he know to come there?
We had been out that night a little earlier. I think he was on a date with a girl. We'd split up. I don't know if it was just having, like we were in the park at the same time. I think even from that distance, he couldn't have known it was me.
Yeah.
Like he's like, it was a silhouette, you know, of a guy standing over a bridge, probably a quarter of a mile away, and he just takes off running. I don't know exactly. I've talked to him about his experience recently, and I think something that hurt me about it was he didn't feel like what he did was as miraculous as I thought it was.
Really?
I was like, man, that's the most miraculous thing that's ever happened to me. And I think, but I understood it because I think that, like, you know, I'm out here on a journey to help people now too. And I'm out here trying to do whatever I can to take this story and make it mean something. But we probably do stuff every day for somebody else that might be miraculous to them because we don't know what kind of place that they're in their lives.
Yeah.
And we don't get to feel that like what we did. And he literally saved my life.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I wouldn't be talking to you right now. Right. I wouldn't have signed a record deal. I wouldn't be putting out music, traveling the country. Like
selling out crazy tours. Like
none of it. And so To go back to your question, truthfully, I think what I would say would be imagine a life where you don't feel like this anymore, not because you're dead, but because you won.
Yeah.
Because you beat it. Like, because if I were at that moment to try to imagine where I'm at, it just wouldn't make any sense. But like, you're crazy.
Right. Yeah. Nobody can see light at the end of that tunnel.
Yeah.
It's like that feels like the impossible, but you're obviously here to tell people it is possible.
Absolutely. Your brain doesn't allow you to accept love in that place. It doesn't allow you to accept possibilities in that place. It doesn't allow you to accept the fact that this is a human experience. Like, I mean, it can get worse. It can stay the same. It can also get better.
Right.
And throughout this journey, I mean, that was, 10 years ago. It wasn't all roses. Like it hurt like hell for a while. It was horrible. Like trying to heal was so painful. There were so many things that I had to feel for the first time.
Well, you're because that would be obviously part of a healing journey is digging really deep and starting to unleash those inner demons and like the shadows and all the stuff you've put away in this closet for so long.
Yeah.
Did you do like lots of therapy? Was it through songwriting? Like how did you heal?
So many
and I know you're
things.
Still on a journey because we all are.
Yeah. Honestly, all of it. Like
Yeah.
I think what I would say to anybody is just stay curious because the answer is going to be different for everyone because what happened to me isn't what happened to you.
Right.
And what I went through isn't necessarily what you're going through. And there's some people who may have gone through the exact same thing.
Yeah.
I know that mine was, my brain felt so sick. I didn't think I could ever feel normal again. Just all the wires got crossed and, between daily panic attacks and, just the constant dread and depression and a mix of, a lot of big words that I don't still understand yet. But I did therapy. I took medication for a long time. I wasn't out of the hospital for a while. Like that's a part of my story that I hate to admit, but I just kept trying.
Yeah.
No, I just kept trying. Yeah.
I'm really glad you did.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. Cause I mean, I'm not ever trying to compare stories. I'm just trying to relate to like, I remember just like awful. I had to go on medication as well because I was just like in such a dark place. Daily panic attacks too. Like I really went through it. Medication, I swear, saved my life. Now therapy and like everything like that. But I like can't even believe because 10 years goes by so fast. Yeah. But the amount that you can like evolve and heal and grow in 10 years is like insane. But people think that's like, oh, that's such a long time. But it's all these, I always call it micro shifts in like the 10 years that you don't even realize sometimes what you're doing to heal yourself. And being able to look back on this last decade you must feel like really proud of yourself too.
Unbelievably. Yeah. It's two totally different people. And thank you for sharing that part of you with me too. It always helps to know you're talking to somebody that I think the hardest thing, like one of the hardest things when you're in that space is like when you share a tiny bit of information for the first time, you just get hit back with a blank stare. Like
God.
somebody's like, what the hell are you talking about? And you're just like, oh, I am crazy.
You're validating me.
This is bad.
Yeah.
And I think I am glad that it's so much easier to talk about now. I feel like people do talk about it more.
People do talk about it more. And I feel like because you're probably seen on such a like greater platform, you're hearing other people's stories, which must feel heavy and like liberating at the same time. Because like somebody just wrote me a letter when I was at the show and she handed it to me, and reading it backstage, I was like, oh my gosh, like what a beautiful thing to read. And I take on a lot. Like I carried that with me, and I was just like so grateful for her sharing that with me. But it's like you probably get those hourly.
Yeah. I mean, get a lot of messages online.
Yeah.
And then, there's the letters in person that are or the silent hugs even, or like somebody wrote me something on a napkin, like you saved my life. And it's just like, what? It's like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But I get it at the same time.
Yeah.
Because when you're in that place, you just need somebody to tell you that it's going to be all right,
Especially through music. I feel like I said this when I was on stage the other night in Florida. I was like, I just always think like music creates so much connection, and like everybody's just in this one big area just feeling the same music, like, and what you write might mean something to this person that might mean something different to that person. 100%. And it's like, but everyone's feeling the same emotions.
Isn't that crazy?
It's so cool. And it's just like, it's such a like powerful thing to think of, because like how big is the biggest stadium you've ever played?
I don't know about stadium, but the most amount of people we played, it was probably 10, 15,000.
Like that's crazy if you think about that. Like that many people. I mean, even let's say Taylor Swift, who sold out like a 70,000.
Right.
If you think about that many people all in the same area feeling like joy, feeling sadness, feeling this all at the same time. Like, that's so cool.
Isn't that crazy?
It is. I just love music so much. I think it's so crazy. And I mean, beyond that, you've also like your father passed from addiction.
Yeah.
And then right after dealing with your loss of your father, you suffer a head injury in college that lost your scholarship. Like that is all a lot of things that's like not, I always call it big T and small T trauma. Like that is like all big T trauma that you're going through. What time was that around?
It was all around the same time.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so Dad OD'd. It was like my first week in college. Like I think I had just turned 18.
Gosh.
And my family, this is what we did. We strength trained. That's just like so like.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about that
and
too.
I feel like a lot of this, you know, I talk. It seems like it feels like I'm talking bad about my dad a lot, but when he was sober, he was awesome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's what was so confusing is like, you know, growing up, it was like, it was dad's good, dad relapsed, dad's good, dad relapsed. And so, you know, and there were a lot of violent things that happened in between. But, you know, when he OD'd, I think it changed something in me, like faith-wise, like like a fundamental belief that like the universe was in my favor or something, and then like all of a sudden it wasn't. Like, and then so we had always done strength training. Like my dad was this massive, like 6'2", 300 pounds, just muscle.
That's where that came in. Okay.
And so my papa was an Olympic weightlifter. My dad was a power lifter, and then I was too. So like. And I mean, we just strength. That's what we did. Like in 7th grade, I was benching 225. Like, I mean, I was in the gym as a kid, like 4 years old. And so go to high school, win state, you know, pound for pound, strongest kid in the state. I'm getting these offers to go to colleges to join their Olympic weightlifting programs.
Wow.
And ended up going to the University of Louisville because I was in love. I had my high school sweetheart. And I was like, well, if we go to the same school, we'll be together forever.
Yeah.
Didn't happen.
Never does.
But
Rarely
so
does.
I was in my first year there when I did a clean and jerk and I passed out the top, hit my head, woke up in a CAT scan
I
machine.
saw the video.
Oh, you did? Oh, shit. So you know, yeah.
I saw the video and I got secondhand anxiety. Like I was like, am I gonna fall over?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah. That was how you were like standing straight up too, and you fell completely backwards. That was panic attack.
No, it was just I just passed out.
You just passed out.
Yeah, I just passed out. Like I think at that point in my life, I don't know if I'd ever had a full panic attack.
Oh.
Like I definitely had like anxiety when I was a kid, but like the panic attacks didn't start probably until after that accident. And I didn't know, like there's probably so much that I experienced that was probably a reaction to the concussion that I had. Like but it was a small town hospital. They gave me drugs, put me in a neck brace, kind of sent me on my way. There wasn't a lot of like follow-up care. And so there was a year there that like I have almost no memory of. Like,
well, yeah, and also are they just handing out like pain pills? Like
no,
oh, good.
I don't know what they gave me. It was probably anxiety. It was probably like Klonopin or something, which I've taken since then. It's incredible.
Yeah,
you know, got to be careful with it, but it's
right. Yes,
it's also saved my life.
Yes, exactly.
It's an interesting relationship, but
I feel that.
But yeah, I don't remember exactly what I was taking, but I remember my head hurt a lot.
Yeah.
I remember I had trouble remembering things. Like,
well, I mean, look at all the athletes out there who injure their head too many times and suffer like really bad mental health and depression and like sometimes now they have people like studying that kind of thing, but back then like you didn't know why you were feeling a certain way.
I had no clue. I had when I woke up, I didn't know who I was. I didn't know who my family was.
Scary.
Like just no recollection of humanity.
Yeah.
And I woke up in a CAT scan machine with, you know, the lights and everything.
Gosh.
And when I went home, I was terrified for my grandparents to find out. And I remember like when I woke up, I had them call my girlfriend and my old buddies to come pick me up from the hospital. And I'm just whacked out of my mind on drugs at the time. And so like, I'm like flirting with the nurses in front of my girlfriend. Like, I mean, it's bad. Like, and they're like, he's on drugs. He's on drugs.
Yeah.
And, but I get home to my grandparents' house eventually, and you know, my mom was like, "Well, we probably just need some food." Yeah, like, take it to Waffle House, or whatever. They're like, "No, this is actually something happened." And then, of course, showed them the video, and I think my papaw's reaction was the most gut wrenching. Like this was, you got to remember that weightlifting was something we had done together all of my life. Yeah. He was my coach. He was my trainer. We won nationals together. Yeah. Like he was always with me, and he watched the video and he said, "You're done." Oh. And I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "I'm not burying another son." Oh. And he's like, "You know, you're lucky to be alive." And so my grandparents, they lost 2 sons. It was my Uncle Ricky and my dad.
Oh God.
And so my whole life, like growing up with them, is just, you know, I'm in a house bombarded with grief. Like they had just been through hell and back.
I mean, they always say like the parents and grandparents aren't supposed to bury their kids.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I think I was just like carrying a lot of shit that I just wasn't able to talk about.
No kidding. No kidding.
The big T stuff.
The big T stuff, really, really big T stuff.
Yeah.
And then because of that, though, you vowed to work your way back up to bench press 250, which I also saw that video by the time of the album release. This album release?
Yeah.
Was it this one?
Yeah. It was like
oh my gosh. So obviously it's like symbolic to you and a personal milestone, and you achieved it, which congratulations.
Thank you.
That was awesome. I was like cheering for you watching the video, and then you snuck in that fall when I was like,
not again. Yeah.
That was awful. But that explains why that is so personal and important to you that you did that. I mean, that's already a huge accomplishment, but because of what you've went through and, even anxiety to go back to a gym, I would feel like.
Yeah, I had a panic attack every time I walked into the gym for 10 years. I mean, and I didn't get
going.
that. Yeah, you hear those stories of like somebody got in a dirt bike accident, they can't get on a dirt bike. You're like, really? Like, come on, get over. Like that was how I grew up. Like you always get back on the horse.
Right.
And this was one thing where getting back on the horse just wasn't a thing, and doing the 250, it was a full circle moment for me because I had to totally reinvent myself after that.
Well, I think people get really crippled with anxiety and panic attacks. What is something that you do to work through those? If you can like show up to the gym and you have a panic attack every time, or you're having anxiety every time, what do you do to walk through that? How do you help yourself?
It's a great question. And I've just been thinking about this last few days. I want to say how important that question is and like why.
Yeah.
Is that like, I'm a grown man, and when it hijacks my brain, it's almost impossible to overcome. And so I think there's so many teenagers and kids and young people that are going through this now that may have little to no resources and are like, and I know how bad it can be because I was one of them, but it's like, man, imagine going through this with no clue what it is.
Right.
Imagine going through this again with no idea of what's happening to you.
Yeah.
And so now it's like I have all of the knowledge. Like I've been through 8 years of therapy. I've taken all the drugs. I've done everything right, and I still sometimes go through it.
Yep.
And so I've just been thinking about, man, what can I do to help the people who have no clue, like what might be happening? Like, how do you stop that hijack? And, for me, it's different every time, but it's a lot of times it's just feeling safe in your body.
Yeah.
Like, you got to remember that the panic started here.
Yep.
Call it out what it is. Like, hey, this is anxiety. It's not actual imminent death. It feels like I'm going to die right now. There's nothing I can do about it, but that's not what it is. It's actually your brain lying to you. And it's you believing it that is causing the fear dump, the adrenaline dump. And so the heart beating, the hands sweating, the brain spinning, going crazy, that's all an evolutionary response. You know, that's your body saying, no, we got to stay alive.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes.
Protection. Yeah.
But you might have just had to send a scary email. You know what I mean?
That's my favorite thought when I have anxiety is that I'm like, I always say my brain's supposed to be on the same team as me, but right now it's not. It's lying to me, but that's a comforting thought to me to know that that's a lie.
Yeah.
And if we don't believe that, like we lie to ourselves all the time about bad things. So of course, like that's a real thing that our brain does that to us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But that's, I guess, just knowing like, this is what it is.
Call it out. Call it out.
I'm safe.
Trying to, feel safe. Like I'll stretch, I'll take deep breaths. It just depends on the scenario. I'll go play with my dog. A lot of times it's getting back into the real world, doing something that feels like crazy, like with dipping your hand in cold water, face in cold water, something that's like, what can I do immediately to create a stronger sensation than my heart beating out of my chest,
I get it really bad in the middle of the night. I get really bad intrusive thoughts, and I'll stand up and shake my whole body just to like get out of it.
Which is probably what your body wants to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like we're talking like, no, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like if I were to get up and shake, that makes me insane. Like
the guy that was sleeping next to me was like, you okay? I'm like, go back to bed.
Hey, but isn't it cool? Like if you can find somebody who's like, you can be like, yeah, I'm just having anxiety. And they're like, oh, okay, I get it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. I think that is important because I'm like, I don't think mine's going away. It's definitely gotten better, but I don't think it's going away. So whoever is sleeping next to me might have to know about the tricks of the trade of having anxiety.
Yeah.
Okay, this could not be more relatable to me right now. Have you guys noticed changes in your sleep, your mood, your cycle, your sex drive, and wondered if it's maybe more than just stress? Oh, it is. It's me. Perimenopause. It can actually start in your mid to late 30s, and many women don't know where to get real answers. And that's why I'm loving Hers, and I'm loving that they can be a sponsor on this podcast because Hers makes it really, really simple. You start with an online medical intake, and a licensed provider trained in women's health creates a personalized treatment plan just for you. So no long waits, no awkward office visits, and no insurance required. So if prescribed, you can get access to clinically prescribed treatment kits, pills, pills, patches, creams, all tailored to your needs. Plus, their app keeps you supported with guidance on sleep, nutrition, exercise, and unlimited messaging with your care team. It's literally healthcare built around you, and we deserve that. We actually had Jessica Barak on the podcast talking about premenopause, and it was such a reminder that these symptoms are so real, so common, from changes in cycles to mood swings, and hers makes it just so much easier to get that support. So whether you want help managing perimenopause or menopause symptoms, improve sleep, hair, mood, or just feel more like yourself, hers has you covered. Visit forhers, that's FORHERS.com/Vine to get a personalized perimenopause treatment plan that's right for you. That's forhers, FORHERS.com/Vine. Not available in all 50 states, perimenopause and menopause by Hers includes hormonal health support, educational resources, digital tools, and prescription options if appropriate. Hormone replacement therapies are not FDA approved for the treatment of perimenopause, but may be prescribed off-label for perimenopausal symptoms at a provider's discretion. See website for full details, important safety information, and restrictions. All right, have you ever dropped $150 on a bottle of perfume only to realize that you hate it? It's painful. And that's why I'm obsessed with micro perfumes. It is quite literally the easiest way to try a luxury fragrance without committing to a full bottle. So here's how it works. Micro perfumes lets you sample designer scents like Dior, Tom Ford, Creed, Prada, YSL, all in these cute little pocket-sized vials. So I love YSL Black Opium and Versace Bright Crystal. Oh my gosh, they're so good, both of them. I've actually been wearing both of those off and on for years. Actually, I switched between like 4 perfumes, but the best part is I can try them all before deciding which one is actually me. So no dupes, no knockoffs, actually the real deal, and shipping is super fast. So I just keep a few in my bag for travel or nights out, and honestly, it is perfect for tossing in your carry-on, so you can switch scents on the go. Your fragrance literally introduces you before you even say a word. Confidence, nostalgia, or bold energy all in a little vial. So why commit blind to a $200 bottle? Find your scent soulmate today and get up to 60% off at microperfumes.com/Vine. That's microperfumes.com/Vine for up to 60% off. Because of everything you've been through, you've said that your music is obviously about giving hope and breaking stigmas around mental health, which I was thinking about, like, what other musician does that? I haven't heard of anyone. So I love that you're doing that. And obviously people's response has been amazing to it.
Appreciate you saying that. I think there's been some trailblazers. You know, I think someone like Jelly Roll, obviously, who has a bit of a different story. Yeah. I've never been behind bars. Probably should have a couple times. But, like, you know, he's such a light to people who have needed a second chance. Yeah. You know, and I think what's interesting about that too is, like, you know, his story was, I see my dad in his story. You know, it's like my dad was in and out all growing up, and there was this, you know, violence and all that. And so, like, I think mine is the impacts of the kid who grew up in that environment and the things that I've had to deal with, and also substance abuse issues as well in my avoidance process of all the things I was going through. But it is amazing to hear the stories of people connecting with it, because I hate being vulnerable. Like, honestly, like,
that's crazy.
I can't stand it. It's like my body feels like I'm on fire when I'm talking about, like, stuff. And but I just have this motivation that is relentless. Yeah. That it is the reason I'm alive to do this. Like, I was in a very unfortunate position to where I had to deal with a brain that felt like it was on fire. And I was saved from that. A lot of people aren't. Right. And I got to experience something really, really positive on the other side of that. And so I think it's almost like a responsibility to go out and be like, hey, hold up. Don't do that. Yeah. You know?
Well, you're doing it. And tell us about the Lost Ones Club. What is your vision for that community?
So something that happened for me when I started releasing music that I didn't expect was exactly what we talked about, is that, you know, you go through this life thinking, you might go through some things that you might think, I'm the only person in the world who has ever felt this bad, who has ever felt like this particular way. And so I wrote music about that. And then you see people connect with it from all over the world. And they're coming with their own experiences, but a lot of similar and familiar experiences.
Very familiar, yeah.
And I just had so many of those silent hugs in the meet and greet lines where I'm like, I know exactly what they're trying to say. They don't have the words for it yet, but I know what they're feeling, because I've felt that too. And so what was healing for me was the proof that I wasn't alone. Because I feel like you're not alone. That gets thrown out a lot. It feels like a bumper sticker. A lot of guys particularly like, I don't know what that means. Like, it how do you prove that to somebody? How do you go out and prove, what does "you're not alone" really mean?
Yeah.
And so something that was healing for me was that my grief had a witness with all these people out here. And so my goal is with the Lost Ones Club is to give those folks a witness to what they've been through and to have
so
their
beautiful.
stories be shared because they're important too.
Yeah.
And let them feel the healing power of not being alone.
Because it's interesting that you kind of said this, but like your story might not look like my story, but everyone has that same dark feeling. Like everyone can relate to the feeling, maybe not the same story, but the same feeling.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I remember hearing you say something on a video too, where you were confusing excitement with, was that the workout video?
Yeah. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Confusing excitement with anxiety, I think happens to a lot of people too.
Thanks for doing like seeing my stuff. I really appreciate that. That's amazing. Thank you.
I like.
I was going to tell you, by the way, my girlfriend's a massive fan of you.
Is she really?
So the first season of The Bachelor, I think that she ever watched was your season.
Really?
And then she watched the one. I think you were on another season, right? Where you were the person.
Yes.
She wanted me to tell you that. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, she's a big fan.
You'll have to tell me her Instagram after. I'll DM her because that's so sweet.
She would love that. She'd freak out.
So your debut album, Lost Ones, released in September. Every track co-written by you. How did creating this album feel? Because like you say, you get anxiety feeling vulnerable, but the album's so vulnerable. Yeah. So how did you work through that? Was that kind of therapeutic for you?
People ask how I write the songs. Like, is it like just this crazy dark room? I'm like, no, like we're laughing the whole time. It's almost impossible for me to get that vulnerable and that deep in a room like where we're talking about my story the whole time. Because like even right now, there's no way I could write a song right now. Like, it's so heavy.
Yeah, sorry.
But then, oh my God, this is
Pino's
incredible.
helping.
This is amazing. Thank you so much. You know that I was having trouble. Thank you.
I
This is a
swear
good dog.
he does that when people are like talking about things where I'm like,
Yeah.
how did you know how to do that? Yeah.
It's freaking awesome.
Yeah. You need one of those in your writing room.
Well, so my German Shepherd, he'll do that. He'll lay on top of me. I'm like, this is the best like anxiety blanket you could have.
It truly. That's
Dude.
just the weight of the babies on me. I'm like,
And what's
yes.
crazy is like I had not had a lick of responsibility in my adult life until we found him.
Really?
Yeah. And then he just kind of came along and
Pino, you're in the shot.
saved me.
Writing, like even for me, just journaling or co-writing a song that I've done, like anything, I feel like I'm always so in my head at the beginning. And then 5 hours later, I'm like, I don't want to stop. I want to keep going. This is amazing. But it does like, I also like laughter in dark times. So I feel like that just naturally happens because I feel like musicians can go there too. You know, like you can say how you're feeling. You can laugh about certain dark things and you can move forward and write about it and, you know, move to the next thing.
Yeah. My favorite thing to do like in my off time is stand-up comedy. Like not me personally, but like to watch it.
Yeah.
So like we'll go to Zany's a couple times a month when I'm off the road. Like I'll fall asleep to stand-up comedy on TV.
Oh, funny.
So yeah, it's like just dark sense of humor.
Yeah,
probably. It's like guided me through most of my life.
I am the same. I am the same way. My mom is always like, who made you like that? Like, I love dark humor. She's like, she doesn't understand. Your single Burn Down Heaven is obviously climbing country radio charts, which is so exciting. What is that song about? Why is it doing so well?
Well, it's about breaking somebody's heart and what that feels like. I think after that year of my life, like when everything kind of came crashing down, I was so desperate for anyone to love me.
Yeah.
And I put myself in some really shitty positions with people that I shouldn't have. And it's horrible. Like having to break somebody's heart is one of the worst feelings in the world. Nobody prepared me for that. Like
I tried doing it 30 times on national television.
Yeah, there you go. I didn't think about that. Yeah, that sucks. Yeah. I'm sorry for you. That sucks.
Actually, I only
That's
think
probably
like
harder
two
than
really got heartbroken. The rest were like, see ya.
Dude, I almost always rather get my heart broke than have to go.
I ask that to people sometimes. Like, would you rather be loved and never be loved in return, or love and or with the opposite?
Well, it fucks with your identity, like how you think about yourself.
Yeah.
Because like if you're the one constantly doing the breaking, then you think I'm broken. Like it's impossible for me to love, to experience what it feels like to love somebody. And I think that's how I felt. Like I was like, is my heart like messed up?
Yeah.
Like, am I not capable? And
This thing working?
and so you know when you hurt somebody like that, and just ending something that breaking somebody's heart, I was thinking about when in my life have I felt like I did the worst thing imaginable, like burning down to heaven. Like that's a terrible thing to do. You want God and the angels pointing their finger at you. I got all these flashbacks of really that year of my life when I walked away from somebody after really my own mental health struggles got in the way. Just couldn't do it.
Well, that'll happen.
But that person was devastated, and I couldn't even let them know how devastated I was because that would make it worse.
Right. You're like,
You
let
know?
me make it about me.
Yeah, exactly. Like, hey, I know that you're hurting. Let me talk more about me right now.
Like, let me write a #1 hit song about it. But that's where all the good songs come from, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it must feel so cool to see it doing so well, though.
I'm proud of it that like, I think what more so that I'm proud of is that I have worked so hard to take big emotions and turn it into words. Because I think for so long, I didn't even know what I was
Hard to
feeling.
articulate,
I just had
yeah.
a cavern in my chest. And I didn't know why. And so like this whole process of like learning about who I am, why I feel the way that I feel, and identifying feelings is like, it's been really hard.
Yeah.
I know it sounds so simple, but like the way that I grew up, the way that I was raised, and things that I went through, it was just not, that wasn't easily accessible for me.
Okay, let's take a moment to talk about the fact that fall is already here, and that just happens to be my favorite season for fashion. Now, as you know, Macy's makes it ridiculously easy to figure out your fall vibe because they have all the latest trends and the best brands all in one place. So whether you're feeling romantic or you're feeling a little edgy, they've got you covered. I'm really eyeing this faux fur bomber jacket from Karl Lagerfeld Paris. Gonna be in heavy rotation. And maybe some Sam Edelman leather boots to finish it off. I think every girl needs a pair of leather knee-high boots. I'm already imagining like layering these romantic sheer tops, maybe adding like a little wild animal print here or there, maybe a belt, sprinkling in some jewelry for a little extra oomph. Now, Macy's Fall Fashion Guide, as you know, makes it super easy to just pull together all of these looks that just feel fresh, that feels elevated, and totally you. Shop online at Macys.com or in store and just have some fun with your style this season.
All right, you guys, you know it. You know the holidays are coming up, and I don't know about you, but I love making my home feel festive and cozy if you haven't got it by now. Without losing my mind on the process, by the way, and that's why I'm obsessed with Wayfair. So whether it's refreshing my guest room, new bedding, new throw pillows, sprucing up the kitchen with cookware that actually wows, or adding holiday touches like trees, wreaths, and even yard inflatables. Yes, I do. Wayfair has everything you need for your home this season, and I recently grabbed a few accent chairs and cozy throw blankets, and honestly, it made my living room just feel like a whole new space. Again, it's so easy. And then the delivery, obviously fast, free, which is always a total lifesaver. It's why I rely on Wayfair. And the best part is Wayfair has something for every style and every budget. It's all in one place, so whether you're hosting your family, decorating your kids' rooms, or just making your space feel festive, it's so easy to tackle your home goals without the stress. So get organized, refreshed, and ready for the holidays for way less. Head to wayfair.com right now to shop all things home. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home.
And your EP, Blame It All on Country Music, has sold out shows across the country. What's your favorite performance memory? Because that's pretty freaking cool.
Favorite performance memory.
But not to mention, what is it? Grammy.com named you like a rising star, featured on
cool.
Billboard People.
Hell yeah, that's great.
What?
Is that this week? Let's go. Come on.
How do you handle all the like press and attention? You're like, I don't really know what's happening.
There's a lot that moves. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, people ask you like, are you taking it in? Are you taking it in? It's kind of impossible to take it in. I think when you start doing this for a job and because you dream about this when you're a kid, you know,
Totally.
like I used to lay in my bed at night and just think about what I would do with my future in my life.
Yeah.
And I think already like I'm kind of past
Yeah.
some of the things that, because you grew up poor in the middle of Kentucky, you think that will never be me.
Yeah, it's a pipe dream.
Yeah, that's not going to actually happen. And now that you're here, it just kind of, I don't want to say that your brain gets calloused. I honestly, and I hate to say this, I think that a lot of the big T stuff I went through, I love that you say that, calloused my brain in some ways to make me prepared.
And humbled, I'm sure, too.
Yeah. Like I don't get the big head about that stuff.
Yeah,
like
that's
I
good.
can't imagine going home and bragging to my little brother and sister about like that's their time. Like
Yeah.
I'm so blessed to get to do this for a job. Like this is such a bullshit thing to call a job. Everybody that I know, and I mean that with sincerity, like everybody that I know, like, do I work hard? Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Do I work sometimes 16, 18 hours a day? Absolutely. Do I sometimes not sleep? Yes. But at the end of the day, it doesn't even feel like work.
Yeah,
like
that's
it's a
nice.
dream job. And I don't think most people get the opportunity to say that. And so like a lot of people work hard.
Yeah,
And there's
but
still so much like,
you've worked through so much. So I'm like, I love that you didn't give up in many different ways. You didn't give up when you had $11 in your account. You didn't
Yeah.
give up when you wanted to give up on life. You like fought through so many battles to get here too, which is a big part of like your success.
And honestly, I'm kind of seeing that like now. Like my brain has shifted so much this year.
Yeah.
Hearing the songs that I wrote.
Also,
and
30 is a big year for men's
is it?
brains
Okay.
to shift. Yeah.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Have you experienced that? Like
29 into 30 is when, you're
Okay.
only going to get better from here too.
You think so?
Yeah.
All right. That's good. Cause
Especially with your story and your humble, what is the word? Humility. That is the word I was looking for. Like,
appreciate that.
Yeah,
I want to get better. I hope I get better.
you will. You will, because you want to.
Yeah. I want to have a family. Like I think honestly, like more than anything, like is the career, what's crazy is like, and what's funny is like when I met my girlfriend, I actually had this conversation with her when we first got together. I was like, nobody will ever get in the way of my career. And if you ever think that somebody will step into place of that, like it's not going to happen. And like, lo and behold, there are other things that take priorities for me now. And like, I find myself daydreaming about settling down and having a family. And like, those were things that I didn't even think about.
Developed at 29.
Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
That's wild.
Welcome to your 30s.
Yeah. It's like, oh, what is
Priorities
this?
do
Love and
change.
empathy in my chest, you know?
Yes.
But I think the biggest piece of that is like, I want to be a good dad, you know, like I find myself afraid of not being a man that is prepared to do all of the things that are required for that. And it's like, okay, if that's my goal, if that's what I'm working towards, then let's take the steps to do that. You know, obviously my career is one of those steps.
Totally. Yeah. And that can also like, what a fun life too, if you get to be like a traveling musician and bring your kid on the road and to show your child, especially like the impact that you're making through music. It's not just music. You're not just touring around. Not that other artists are not making an impact, but like that's your whole purpose. Yeah. Is seeing and then being able to see people come up to you and you're like, they're going to be like, that's my dad.
Yeah. That'd be cool. I don't know. And what's crazy, like you hear stories about kids that grow up and having bad relationships with people who have like, you know, quote unquote celebrity parents. But like, I think just being a safe person, you know, is like kind of the goal. Like, like people that can trust you, depend on you. And
well, isn't it cool that you're growing into the person that you needed as a kid? Yeah. That's such a cool thought because you really are. Yeah. I feel like the people that are doing the work that go through hard stuff and that want to be better are always becoming the person they needed when they were younger. Yeah, I think you're right. Which, that's a cool thought. Yeah. And then last but not least, you're just going to open for Jason Aldean in October. What? Like that's... How excited are you for the road? Do you like the road? I love it, honestly. Yeah. And honestly, that's a scary thing is like, I truly, truly love it. Like, I mean, I think it was 2023. We were gone all year. Yeah. And it still wasn't enough. Like, really? I sleep well. You're born for this. Yeah. I sleep well when I'm busy. I can't explain that. But like when my mind is so tired that it can't have those intrusive thoughts at night. It has no other option but to shut off. I'm my best self. Yeah. When I'm in fifth gear, I'm my best self. And I'll be interested to see how that like evolves. Yeah. But like I genuinely enjoy what I do. Like I can't imagine a life not performing, not singing, not writing songs. It's everything I've ever wanted. Yeah. So it's, Like you're doing it. You're literally opening for Jason Aldean. That's like the biggest country star. First stadium show of my life. Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. And that's October. October 10th. So like tomorrow. Yeah. So where can people find tour dates? Where can people find you? Where can people find your music? All that good stuff. ChaseMcDanielmusic.com. Wait, say that slower. Yeah, I was bad. That was. And I was like Chase McDaniel. Yeah. The little speech impediment. That's Southern drawl speech impediment. Yeah. ChaseMcDanielmusic.com. Yeah. And then Chase McDaniel anywhere else, I guess, online. Awesome. Yeah. Well, it's really cool. When we were talking about having you on the pod, I listened and just went through like your Instagram and obviously was doing my research and I was like, that's so nice of you. Thank you. It's really cool what you're doing. Thank you so much. Yeah. And you're very talented. You're obviously born to do this, and tell your girlfriend I say I love her. I sure will. Okay. Thank you so much for having me on. This is really cool. Yeah, of course.